Polygon price update.
Let's get into it.
So in today's video, guys, we're going to be taking a cheeky look at Polygon. This was, the former 𝗕𝗪 network and also the 𝗕𝗪 token. We're going to be taking a look at the technical analysis here and taking a look at the daily chart, the 4-hourly chart, and that hourly chart, and see if we can, predict what might happen here with 𝗕𝗪 in the short term. It's been doing phenomenally well, Chris, and see if that's coming to an end, if a correction is due, or whether or not there's more room to the upside. As we get into this video, guys, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel, and you'd like to stay up to date with everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto, then why not consider subscribing to the channel? By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about here. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? Chris, anything you would like to add before we jump on down to the charts and start talking everything 𝗕𝗪?
Yeah, well, those of you that have been watching since the early days of Cheeky Crypto will know that I invested early in 𝗕𝗪 and I've really enjoyed some of the rewarding gains off the back of it. But with that said, let me know what you think the future holds for 𝗕𝗪, Polygon, price-wise in this bull market. Really interested to know your views and opinions.
Fantastic. Right, let's jump on down and get right on into it.
Let's do it.
So here we are, guys. This is 𝗕𝗪 to the USDT daily chart, and Binance is the data source. And on here, guys, you can see that we have a Fibonacci retracement. And this particular Fibonacci runs from our low level down here on the 30th of January through to the high that was achieved on the 11th of March. That was a 40-day run that saw 1,361% in juicy gains. Since then, there was a 44-day sideways trade where we saw those common corrective areas hit. We saw us come down to the 618 area down here where we really consolidated. We then saw some moments where we actually came a little bit lower towards that 50% retracement with a couple of wicks just approaching there. And that was enough for 𝗕𝗪 to have enough of a correction to then start sending this thing back off to the stratosphere. In that move, it's 152%, I believe, where it took out that first price target. That first price target was 85.8 cents. So a pretty phenomenal move for 𝗕𝗪 there, and obviously took out that very first price target. Since then, it has started to consolidate down once again here, and we have started to see some corrective action. Now the questions really start to form is this correction going to be a long-term correction, or is this a short-term pause before taking to the next step? We're going to have a look here and see exactly what's going on. We can see that the 50 moving average is actually just down here at the 786 currently, so quite a distance away from the current price of a 𝗕𝗪 token. And obviously, since below there, we have the 100 moving average and 200 moving average, so quite far away on this daily chart. Now, if we just move that out of the way there for a second, we can take a look at the volume just here. Here we can see some significant volume coming in to really push 𝗕𝗪 up to that first price target. And since hitting it, those volumes have pretty much decreased all the way down to the bottom here. It's back to those pre-pump levels. So volumes are actually in a very, very good spot and have huge potential to grow. With that being said, the relative strength index was overbought. This thing topped out during that run at about 82 and is right now sat just below 70 at 68. That means that we are not technically overbought, and if that volume decides to spike up again, we could send this thing right back up into an overbought area, and that could be a real possibility. If we look back to this 1,361% move, here we can see that actually we will basically be in overbought. We come right down into just below 70, and then we go back into overbought, just drop it down below 70, overbought again, below 70, overbought again, before we had that deeper correction that was overdue. So ultimately, guys, we could start seeing a rinse-repeat scenario in the same way as what we saw during that really big run where we saw 1,361% in gains. So the volume comes in, drops right off, comes back in, drops off, comes back in, and drops off. Are we likely to see a rinse-repeat scenario right now? Let's take a look at that 4-hourly chart and see what that tells us. As we pull this back down, we'll see that some of that more detail around those candles and how they formed and how they kind of took out that high end there, that top of the 𝗕𝗪 first price target of 85 cents, I believe I called it. Yeah, 85.8 cents. So We can see that there, and we obviously come right down and consolidated in. I'm going to just mark on here very quickly for future reference a horizontal ray just about here, which seemed to be the lower end here. So that looks like a good area of support if we needed to come back down. So ultimately 74 cents seems to be a good area of support. Currently we are at 80 cents. So potentially we could drop down a little bit there, get a good bounce, and that would be a significant correction to see this thing potentially move up to that second price target. We can also see here on this 4-hourly chart that 50 moving average coming up now towards our support line here of 74 cents, and if that crosses that threshold there, we could see the 50 moving average actually forming a good area of support and potentially taking 𝗕𝗃 in the next few days to even higher highs. We have the 100 and 200 moving average actually quite far away, and they are not going to be acting as support anytime soon. We can see the volumes here have also been decreasing quite significantly and have reduced right the way back down to pre-pump levels. That's a good sign, and that's going to be a good key thing to watch out for if that volume starts to build up, which I think it will do in due course. We can see that relative strength index on this 4-hourly chart is at 52, which is actually a really good spot considering how much room there is to the upside. And the volume being as low as it is, it's hard to think that this volume will come in a negative way considering the position that it's currently at, that it could actually start to reverse and go back up again anytime now. So really good indicators here going on this 4-hourly chart. What I'm going to do is just pull this down into our hourly, and here you can see that really steep correction coming in, and we're looking like we're actually getting and finding support here on the 50 moving average, right? So we can see the upper resistance area here, which comes in at 85.8, and then obviously we can see the 50 moving average, which was an area of resistance here, flipped and turned to support here and here, and it is right now on the candle. So I think that's a good thing to watch out for. We had the bearish cross here, we're looking for that bullish cross to come back in, and the 100 200 moving average is working up towards our support line of 74 cents. So I think if we were to drop down anywhere, we're looking to drop down to 74. So currently 80, we're looking at maybe dropping 6 cents or so to find that support line, and then that would complete this entire correction on this relative strength index. Currently sat at 43, Chris. That's basically below the midway point, more room to the upside than there is to the downside. That short-term correction could be the end of a or keep this whole correction for 𝗕𝗃 very, very short, and we could be blasting off to that second price target any moment. So it looks like our short-term correction is going to be coming to an end shortly, given the next few hours, and then hopefully we'll be starting to see some significant volumes come back in that will help push 𝗕𝗃 back to those higher highs and onto that second price target. So if I just pull this back up into our daily, and we'll just pull this up, zoom back out and pull this down, we can take a look at that first price target or second price target, which comes in now, Chris, at $1.36, a 70% move from the current position. So not too bad at all. And that could be something that we could see happening or moving towards it very, very soon if the volumes decide to spike up in the same way that we saw it when we had that 1,361% move. If that rinse repeat scenario does reoccur, then I think we'll be heading right up to that 2.618 Fibonacci extension area and going after $1.36 in a matter of days or weeks. After that, of course, we are talking about a $1.87 and then a $2.19. And Chris, since you've been invested in 𝗕𝗃 for such a long time, those numbers must be a music to your ears.
Oh, they are, Nick. And, you know, I love everything that they're doing. I think it's a fantastic project. And yeah, I really do believe that some of those price points are going to get taken out. I really do.
Fantastic. So guys, what I'm saying here, just to recap, is we are expecting a short-term correction, potentially dropping 6 cents from the current position, so taking it down to about 74. That would be the worst case scenario. It may never actually go as low as that. It may only be like something like 78 cents. But once that correction that completes the relative strength index correction on that hourly, we'll be in a very good position to see 𝗕𝗃 move up to the upside once again, which means ultimately this could be a very short correction after some all-time highs were set there, and I think this is going to be some fantastic price discovery for 𝗕𝗃 going forward. Chris, anything else you would like to add?
No, I think that covers everything off, Nick.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Guys, if you found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about, then why not consider subscribing to the channel? By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It is free. You'll stay well informed. So why not? If you hit that bell, you'll get a notification, which means you won't miss a single video. With that said, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.